I remember my recent argument is most companies just play follow the leader, right? Like when Fortnite became popular, you had like so many companies trying to tap into that audience by making, battle royale type deals. And Fortnite might not have been the first battle royale, but it was absolutely the most popular. Then you had the horse armor in Oblivion that people laughed at, like, but people still bought it. But now, and because of that, you have that type of microtransactions in mini games. The type of cosmetics you should just get through playing the game. They're like, nah, you can only get it through money. So now we see this trend being chased, and the $70 game trend, right? Games used to be $60, right? And I know like a couple of older like Nintendo games were even that first came out were even 50. But now we're hitting the $80 trend, and it started with Nintendo, but you see here, Xbox is now raising their prices. It's odd because I've seen this, and it's like, oh, it isn't planning to follow suit yet. So what EA is going to do is what many other companies do, and just see how the public goes with it. They're going to be like, okay, we'll sit back and see, and if people 100% buy $80 fucking games, then they'll do it. I mean, if you view companies like not through the lens of morality, just through the lens of business, like it 100% makes sense why EA would change their games to $80, while Microsoft would change theirs to 80. Hell, even Sony's gonna probably start doing it, and it makes sense. Like you're a business, you're a company. If you can make slightly more money, why the fuck wouldn't you? Like they hire people whose entire jobs is to look at market trends and implement them. That's why you have all these like some of the worst type of greedy microtransactions being done in AAA Western games because people fall for it, people buy it, and I personally won't. I don't think it's a good thing that legislation should be placed to defend the consumer. You'd think the consumer would make a good purchasing decision, but some don't. So, and you know, games journalist doesn't do a good job. They'll tell you, oh, which game is bad and which game studio director post naughty things on Twitter, but they won't tell you the harm and things like these happen. When it comes to something like this, they'll be strictly information, but when it comes to Black Myth Wukong, a game that universally the consumer they'll look for it, or like Stellar Blade, they'll just look for any reason to tear it down. So, and because of this, yeah, you're gonna have things like this happening with Nintendo announcing Mario Kart World as an $80 launch game for the Switch 2, and Microsoft also confirming that its first party titles will be sold at the same price. It looks like gaming is about to get a lot more expensive, similarly how base video game price increased from $60 to $70 starting in 2020. Other publishers will likely start to charge more for their products, but EA isn't currently planning on to join the trend. Yeah, not yet. I mean, no, EA absolutely, like, it is, like, they hire people whose job it is to do these trends, and if the person if, say, the CEO doesn't do it, they'll hire someone that will. They'll fire him, he'll have his golden parachute to whatever fucking company, and they'll just hire someone that will. I mean, this is usually how most of these dealings are done. Like, who was the previous CEO of EA? The one that called developers fucking idiots and telling them they should pay, charge the consumer per bullet. And it's like, oh, so this is the mindset. And I get it, there's a small pool of CEOs, to pull from other companies that have, uh, that type of expertise. But does it have to be him? Does that singular person need to have the golden parachute? I mean, according to them, sure. And again, the way they describe the $80 on launch game, like, to be fair, I think this is for like that, like the physical edition, right? But the way they described it is, oh, well, this is the value proposition we'll have for the game. It's like, that's not up for you to decide. That's up for the fucking consumer to decide. The consumer sets the bar. And okay, yeah, in many cases, gamers don't make sound purchasing decisions. How I don't sometimes. But I mean, come on now. That's not up for you to say. But I mean, and again, they make games for kids, but they're pricing them for adults, and which makes absolutely no sense. Like, I mean, it's a smart move if it works, because obviously the adults are gonna buy the games for their kids. But is it a good thing? No. Again, I don't think AAA companies is really the way to go now. Because, to be fair, I guess in Nintendo's situation, like, Mario is a popular IP that still sells. Smash Bros will still sell. Zelda will still sell. And I was praising Nintendo for being the only ones with exclusives, but I can't praise this happening. I can't praise them trying to, you know, try to get even more greedy than what they already are. During the Q&A session of its fourth quarter and FY 2025 earnings conference call, EA was asked whether it would adopt a similar approach to other companies and adjust its pricing power. For key IP in the future, our business is very different today than it was even just 10 years ago. EA CEO Andrew Wilson explained. In a world where everything we did 10 years ago was about selling shiny discs and plastic boxes in retail shelves, well, that's still a part of our business. It's a significantly smaller part of our business. And we now have pricing representing everything from free to play all the way to deluxe editions and beyond. At the end of the day, whether we're doing something that costs $1 or we're doing something that costs 10, or we're doing something that costs 100, our objective is always to deliver incredible quality and exponential value to our player base. And we've discovered over the course of time is whether we can marry quality and value together. Our business is strong, resilient, and continues to grow. Okay, so PR speak. What he's saying is, I don't know. We don't know right now because we don't know the perception. We don't know if this is popular. But if people do it, then we'll probably do it. That's the reason why we moved from 60 to 70. And EA is absolutely different than what it was 10 years. Like 10 years ago, I mean, they actually published legitimately decent games. Now, well, even a couple of years after that, they became greedy. They're doing what Microsoft's doing, which buys up companies, buys up studios. Then they have overwhelmingly high demands of IPs in the studios, and even if they somewhat meet the demand, they still shut them down and live off the dividends of the game. Like they did this with Visceral Games, the makers of Dead Space, and there's an entire wiki doc about all the studios that they bought up, then ended up shutting down. So I don't really care. Like on paper, this sounds good. This is them saying, "Well, we're not going to make any decisions yet, but we know how EA acts. From a game perspective, we have reflected on no changes in our current strategy at this point, EA's CFO Shrout Canfield said. It's worth noting that EA makes a lot of money from microtransactions. EA recorded $5.34 billion in this department in its 2025 financial year, and in comparison, video game sales brought in $2 billion in sales. These comments come on the back of EA's publisher of its fourth quarter result for the 3 months ending in March 31, 2025. Wilson said that the company significantly exceeds expectation, thanks primarily to games like EA Sports FC in its fourth quarter. The Sims, Split Fiction, live service revenue also increased by 1% to $1.45 billion during the quarter. The Sims experienced the best growth in the history of the franchise, and the total Split Fiction sales were nearly double that EA expected from Haze Light Studios developed games. So what they're saying is, we're making plenty of money, through predatory microtransactions. I guess to be fair, Split Fiction, a new game, The Sims. What demographic plays The Sims? Women. I stopped playing The Sims when you could no longer make the damn volcanoes and robots destroy everything. At the same time, it hasn't been smooth sailing at EA, as hundreds of workers were laid off, and 2 early-stage incubation projects at Respawn Interactives were canceled. Exactly. You have Respawn, which is a company that if EA leaves them the fuck alone and lets them do the one thing, which is make decent games, they can do it. Like they made Titanfall 1 and 2. Titanfall 1 I didn't really like, but 2 was pretty good. I liked 2. 2 was... It's what you get when you actually listen to the consumer, right? They made Star Wars, Jedi Knight, the Jedi Outcast... Not Outcast. The one with the orange-haired motherfucker. I can't remember the name because I just completely forgot about it. Like, that game was alright. Apex Legends is doing good, but I hate it because it's the reason we're never going to get another Titanfall. But Respawn is still one of those companies that, they clearly have the talent in the means, but EA has, just for some reason, wants to fuck with Respawn and be like, no, you're going to make what we want you to make. And it's like, bruh, just let them make games. But anyway, this is all I gotta say about this. Like, I do believe games are going to move to $80. Hell, we might even get $100 if people buy it. Will I buy it? Probably not. But is this where we're headed? Yeah. It's just... I hope it doesn't. Everyone always screams that this is bad, but, and to be fair, because Microsoft still has the Xbox Pass thing where, yeah, if you have that, most of these $80 games will be free, and that will contribute towards, I guess, people playing the game, and because of that, statistic going into games sales, quote unquote. I think this is something that's just going to keep happening. But anyway, that's all I really got to say about this. Peace.